So my name's Nick Beighton. I'm a KL2 paddler and I do a K1. So my best result with the squad, I've actually only been in a kayak since January when they changed the regulations. So I was previously in a VAR, and then in January I moved across to a new boat, so I'm very new to it. My first competition was at the European Champs this year and I came 6th, which was I was really happy with it. It's, it's a new experience, just getting used to the competition and getting going. So it was almost by chance, really, I suppose. I rowed previously at the London Paralympics, so I've sort of got a competitive sport background, and I had a bit of a break. I've had a son in the meantime and I had a couple of operations and was looking for something new, and I took on a charity trip which involved a lot of kayaking, and someone put me in touch with these guys here and it just sort of felt like a natural fit, so it sort of went from there, really. I was looking for something to put my energies into, and kayak seemed like the perfect thing. I mean, like any competitive sport, I love the routine of it. I love the fact that it hurts. I love the challenge of that day-to-day grind of training. It really does something for me. I love that, and something about being on the water. I just love being outside. That was always my life before I got injured, was being in the mountains or out climbing or in the military. Being active, and I couldn't sit in a gym and do that 24/7. And to be on the water in all conditions is just it's a real joy to be out every morning, and come rain or shine, you're out in the water training. I love that. I mean, growing up, that was my big thing. Reasonably intelligent at school. I didn't really apply myself, but I was in. I was one of those annoying kids that was in every single sports team. I did cricket, I did basketball, I did cross country, I did rugby, I did football. I did everything. That's what I loved doing, athletics. And I kind of carried that through, and that's why the army seemed like a natural fit, just because I was very athletic. I did, lots of rock climbing and mountaineering with my father when I was growing up, and it just seemed like the right outlet for those energies. And so to then kind of come full circle and come back into sport, it just seems like a natural thing to do. It's such a life-changing experience. I mean, that sounds so contrived, doesn't it? But it is. It's literally, your life is unrecognisable from one instant to the next. I was 28 years old. Tall, strong, the peak of my powers, in charge of 35 soldiers, doing an incredibly demanding but satisfying job, and the next minute I'm in hospital, not able to feed myself, not able to sit up, not able to breathe myself to start with, and you're completely helpless, and where do you go from that point? It's really difficult. So it's such an incremental process. It takes literally years to kind of build the confidence in your own body and in your own ability to do things, to get out and challenge yourself again. And so it was really gradual. You start off just doing the simple things, and the military system's got a very good structure for just introducing you to those physical activities again, and just drip feeding them in, and then offering the next challenge, and with a bit of self-motivation you can just push it, and actually the limit is your own imagination in a lot of ways. So that's really what led to the London thing. Was I love sport. It was a way of me re-identifying with myself. So really reconnecting with what I could and couldn't do, because that's the big thing, is you have such a massive identity crisis, because you suddenly assume you can't do any of the things you used to be able to do. And that was who I defined myself as. I was fit and strong and I was a sporty guy. That's who I was. And suddenly I wasn't. And suddenly I was stick thin and fragile with no legs in a hospital bed, and I couldn't be that person anymore because I couldn't do those things. So it was really important for me to reconnect with those, which is why sport was so important, just to kind of find something that I can pin my hat to and say that's what I can do and that's who I am. So it's a real balancing act between hanging on to the essence of who you are and the values you hold, but actually not being a bit of a prisoner to that and saying I've got to try and recreate my life in the same way. You've got to take these things as just opening a door to something different, and having the courage to accept that that's the way life is, and that's the sort of the path I've got to follow, and just seeing where it takes you, rather than being too caught up in trying to be the same person and trying to go, oh, I'm going to pretend that nothing's changed. Well, everything's changed, so why not use that to your benefit, to your advantage, to learn who you are and what you can do. And so it's almost both in a way. You want to try and hold on to the core of who you are and your beliefs and stuff, and the strength that you've got inside you, but channel it in a very new direction and use it as an opportunity to be someone, I won't say different, but it's definitely who knows, you know what I mean? You do what you do, and you just it's a crazy journey to go on, really. But it's not just about the story around the athlete, which is incredible enough in itself, but it's actually about high performance sport as well, and it couples the best of both. So there's a real moral there, but actually there's real high performance sport, and I think that's the way it needs to go, to put on a spectacle, to say, you know what, I've got this injury, this disability, but it doesn't matter, I'm still going out and I'm still absolutely smashing my sport and saying this is what I can do. And I think that's so intriguing, that there's such a massive appeal for the general public to watch that. So it's a great movement to be part of.